Catwoman Whip is the long-awaited new for 2022 ride at my home park, Six Flags St. Louis. This ride was announced all the way back in 2019 and has been delayed multiple years, but it's finally open to the public now. This ride replaced the park's former Drop Tower Superman Tower of Power, and I think it is a very worthy replacement and even better than the former ride. The ride model is a Funtime Vomatron, and it kind of lives up to its name, but in a good way. It has great intensity, hang time, and even some air time during your ride. The ride is also 164 feet tall and gets up to speeds of 52 miles per hour during your ride. The ride is also in a new entrance plaza along with Screamin' Eagle that looks a whole lot better than it did in previous years. A lot more open with less games to walk through as well. The loading process for the ride is very unique, where 8 riders are loaded onto the gondola at the bottom, while the other 8 riders are sitting at the top. The ride then completes another half cycle, so the people originally at the top can be unloaded at the bottom, and the process continues. This makes for some very slow operations, even if the ride crews are going as fast as they can, making the ride easily get 2-hour waits or longer without much of a line building up. Thankfully, there is also a single rider line on this attraction that should hopefully cut down on the wait time, so I highly recommend using that, or just try and save this for the beginning or end of the day if you really want to ride it. The ride's restraints are also fairly standard, with just an over-the-shoulder restraint and a seatbelt, which are pretty comfortable. The ride also does not allow any loose articles at all, even if you have zipper pockets, but you don't need to purchase a locker. They have bins near the ride platform that you can use. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's see how it really rides. Unfortunately, there is no POV of Catwoman Whip quite yet, but its clone Adirondack Outlaw opened last year, and I'm using its POV to get a general sense of how the ride operates. The ride either begins with you going backwards or forwards depending on which side of the gondola you are on, but you do go both directions eventually. It starts off pretty slow with the first few rotations, just giving riders some floater air time as they reach the top. As the ride reaches higher speeds, the gondola begins to rock back and forth, especially if you have an unbalanced ride vehicle, and you flip at the top of the attraction. Depending on which direction you are going, you can either front flip or back flip. The back flips are more intense, but still really fun with great airtime, but the front flips are way better in my opinion, because you really feel the speed when you go in and out of them, and they just have as much hang time as well, while being more graceful and enjoyable. The ride eventually comes to a stop at the top after the first half cycle, and riders wait up there for a while before going in the opposite direction. This can take as much as 10 minutes in my experience, and while you do get a great view, it is easily my least favorite part of the ride, because you just sit up there for the ride to begin again. Eventually, the ride will continue in the other direction and finish up at the bottom after your second 90-second cycle. Overall, Catwoman Whip is a fantastic addition to the park, and while it did take a while to open, it was well worth the wait. I actually think it's not only the best flat ride at the park, but the park's best ride period, even better than Boss and Mr. Freeze. It just has all the elements I enjoy on a coaster, but on a flat ride, with speed, airtime, hang time, and just a pure feeling of being out of control, which I love. It does have some faults, however, with the ride stopping sometimes over 10 minutes at the top, and the ride just being an extremely slow loader. This makes the ride not very ideal for big parks, which is why I don't really see Six Flags putting more clones of this ride, at least at their flagship parks. This ride would be perfect for their smaller parks, however, such as Frontier City, for example. Catwoman Whip is a fantastic flat ride, and I think it will easily be my favorite flat ride for quite a while now, and I'm glad it's at my home park. I do wish it had a higher capacity, though. Be sure to subscribe for more content and be on the lookout for more coaster reviews and other theme park videos in the near future.